You are looking live from our center field cameras. We've got plenty of sunshine, almost 80 degrees, and a little bit of a breeze, about 10 to 15 miles an hour, take the edge off of things, as another day to play means another chance for the Defiance Bulldogs to maintain their perfect record. As we welcome you aboard DCTV Sports and the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show, Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller, as the Bulldogs, with a big win just a night ago, taking on Central Catholic in Toledo, making it an 8-0 win and pumping their record overall to 11-0, 5-0 in the WBL. They'll try and continue that winning streak as they welcome the Elida Bulldogs. Elida 9-7 overall, 3-3 in the Western Buckeye League. And Scoop, again, we've talked a little bit about it. Coach Weaver mentioned it to me during batting practice. Look, Defiance has won a couple of tight games, in particular, a couple of 8-inning affairs, where on the flip side, 9-7, Elida hasn't quite been able to have that same luck, and they are a very young team. They start 5 freshmen and a sophomore, but he was very quick to give them praise, saying sometimes you look at a team and say they are what their record says they are, but he said this is an Elida team that's much better than 9-7.
Well, I think there's no doubt about it. You look at the fact they've got 5 freshmen in the starting lineup, and you're trying to navigate through a tough WBL schedule. And here they are. They're 9-7. They're on the positive side. They're starting to figure out the pieces of the puzzle, and they're getting better and better each week. So I think this will be a great contest here tonight as Defiance, in search of their 29th Western Buckeye League title, will have their hands full tonight. But the Bulldogs are certainly glad to be playing at home after a couple long road contests this week.
Which Bulldogs are you talking about is the question. Look, we've got one that has got 5 underclassmen in the starting lineup. We've got the other, the hosts, who have nothing but seniors in that starting lineup. And look, let's be honest, this is a team built to do what they're doing right now. At the same time, they've got to stay focused. It's when you hiccup that you read about an upset in the papers, the box score the next day.
Well, you're right, and I don't think anybody's surprised when you read the newspapers and you see Defiance sitting perfect 5-0 WBL, perfect 11-0 in the season, especially when you mentioned they've got 9 seniors in the starting lineup here this afternoon. And again, this is the team that's just used to reloading every year. Let's face it, no matter how hard they get hit by graduation, they seem to reload. But when you have a group that has this much varsity experience, this much leadership, this is the team that can go a long way.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the starters here this afternoon, and let's start for the hosts for Defiance. Cody Shaw, the senior, is going to take the bump. He's 1-0 in 3 appearances. He does have a couple of saves to his credit, but he's got a very stingy 1.17 ERA. We saw him last season when he was very green, very raw, and he just kind of willed himself with that 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball to a 6-2 record. But his stats look much more like a pitcher's this season than a thrower's.
Well, you're right. Last year he had great gift of an arm. We all know that. We could see him get it up to 90 mile an hour at times. He just could dominate you with that fastball. Now he's learned to pitch. He has command of his secondary pitches. He's not afraid to throw in a changeup. He's got a really good 12-6 curveball.
Yes.
And I think when he has that pitch working, boy, that's tough math on hitters. You got to try to figure out, is the 90 mile an hour fastball coming? You're going to see that hard 12-6 curveball coming. A reason opponents hitting just 171 off Cody Shaw this season.
On the flip side for Elida, just one of 2 seniors that will be taking the field to start. And again, they're going with their ace, Ryan McHugh. McHugh on the young season, 2 wins against 3 losses in 7 appearances, a 2.84 ERA. But last season, Scoop, he was 5-2. He allowed just 15 runs, only 9 were earned. And how about this? A 3-to-1 walk to strikeout ratio a season ago, 25 to 76 punch-outs, and he had a nearly 1. He was a 1.13 ERA. They're throwing their best against Defiance here this afternoon.
Well, I thought he had a phenomenal junior season a year ago, and certainly everyone on the Defiance coaching staff and in uniform here today knows how good a player Ryan McHugh is. Last year he was first team WBL. You mentioned his numbers, 5-2 as a pitcher. Well, that's 5-2 on a team that was 9-12.
Yep.
So, again, you do the math on that. They're pretty good when he's on the bump. I think everybody in the Western Buckeye League understands that.
Again, he's going to be 83 to 85 miles an hour. He's got more of what they call a hybrid instead of a true curve, although he calls it a curve. But he'll mix in a change, and they also say he's got a knuckleball that he will try and pull out of the cat every once in a while. Now, again, if you don't have that pitch mastered, especially at the prep level, you probably won't see it very often. But this is a young man that, at least on paper, looks like he's got a 4-pitch mix.
Well, he does. And you talked about those different benders we'll see. When he comes over the top, it's pretty much going to be that 12-6 hammer. It's got a lot of downward movement to it. When he goes more drop-down delivery, a little bit more sidearm, you're going to see more of that hybrid. It's going to act like a slider. It's going to go more really right to left there coming to the batter's box. But, again, I think you'll see that knuckleball. If he's got confidence as he's locating, getting on top, so we may see him sprinkling that knuckleball a few times as well.
We're going to take a quick timeout. We had some technical issues with our pregame interview with Coach Weaver, but we'll break it down and summarize what he said. So what we're going to do next is take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll hear from the Elida perspective. In his second season at the helm, Coach Ty Leatherman, he's got a very young group. Young doesn't mean untalented, but it does mean inexperienced, and they are working their way through this season. They would love to pull off the huge upset on the road. We'll get his take on what that will entail when we come back. You're watching the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com. Visit Mark Moats Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Moats Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmoatsford.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
All right, here comes the count. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. Brent Balbelot saying thank you for joining us. DCTV Sports is on the air. I can't believe we have nearly 80 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, at least a threatening cloud. A little bit of a breeze to kind of take the edge off of things. This is the weather that the game was meant to be played in. As Defiance trying to stay unbeaten, they are home tonight as they take on Elida, 9-7, looking to pull off a road upset and maybe put a wind or two in their sails. Again, Coach Leatherman joining us right now to break it down. Coach, it's been a busy week, but let me ask you this, because it's not uncommon when I talk to coaches. You got to play no matter what the conditions are. But it's not uncommon about 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks into a season, when the weather starts warming up, to see teams start to play their best ball. The averages that need to rise do, the averages that need to drop do. So let me ask you this, how much better is this team now compared to just a month ago?
I mean, it's just being at the beginning of the year, we got a lot of young guys. And right now they're just trying to find out what their roles are. Everybody's trying to feel each other out. Like I said, there's games when we looked really, really good, but there's also games where we get that big inning and, we looked really, really bad. So right now we're just trying to take one game at a time, continue to play the best baseball we can day in and day out.
That is great coach speak. I'm going to ask you to peel back a few layers on the onion, though, for me, if you would. Look, you didn't graduate a ton. These guys that played a lot. Sharp, in particular, was one when I was looking at last year's stats. But other than that, you're seeing a lot of guys, a lot of freshmen, a few sophomores sprinkled in here. What was your message to the team about just relaxing and playing ball? I think kind of harping on what you just said there a few seconds ago, it's a game of failure. They call it that for a reason. The key is not to let one mistake or one bad game turn into 2 or 3. I guess I'm asking you about the psychology and your approach to this team. How are they from the neck up?
I think just for them, it's just I always preach about being mentally tough. There's going to be games where, like I said, you're going to go at it, we're going to make good at bats, but there's also going to be times where we're not going to hit. I mean, in this game of failure, a lot of these younger guys are expecting to get a hit every single game, and it doesn't happen with the pitching we face. So I always talk about take one at bat at a time, one play at a time, and when the failure does happen, are we able to bounce back from that? I think that's the biggest thing with this group, is taking a lot of pride in when things go wrong, are we able to get through it and continue to play our game and so forth. So,
well, especially with a young group, but do you have a baseline or a philosophy that you want the guys when they step into the box to at least start from? Obviously, every guy's swing is different, experience is different, but is there a foundation that you want them to take philosophically when they step into the plate?
I think just as soon as they step up to the plate, be aggressive. I mean, be ready to grind. I'm like, you know what these guys are going to bring to WBL. They're going to be pumping it in there, 80, 85, even more than that. But we got to be ready to swing from pitch one. I mean, we can't work from behind. And when we do work from behind, is what adjustments do we make to put the ball in play and make things happen without getting them strikeouts? So
let's go ahead and talk about who's on the bump for you. You're throwing your ace, McHugh. Break him down for us.
Like I said, he's my big gun. He's been that for 2 years. We know what we're going to get when he's on the mound. He's going to be 80 to 85 with his fastball, and with that 12-6 breaker, I mean, he'll mix in every now and then, and especially with the changeup. He's a bulldog. I mean, we know we can throw him against anybody and compete. He's made for these situations. First team all WBL last year. He's made for games like this. So
what's your message? Keys for an Elida win today?
The big thing that I preach every day, especially in this game, we have to do the little things right. We can't let that one big inning, one play lead to runs. And especially against a team like this where we know they're not going to do anything wrong defensively. We know what they're going to bring, especially with Shaw pitching. It's going to make it really difficult to get runs. So we just need to go out and put that effort in and try to chip in every now and then. And, hopefully, at the end, we got it close enough to where we can do something for the win.
All right, here's the grinding out, inning by inning. Coach Leatherman, thanks you for joining us. Best of luck to you today.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
We're going to take a quick time out. We're back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
At Arthur Law Firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers with Arthur. Call us today.
Ohio is in a foster care crisis. Kids with real needs, medical, emotional, behavioral, are waiting for homes. Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care is looking for families ready to make a difference. You've thought about it, now it's time. Contact Cornerstone Treatment Foster Care today.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health.
Find the resources you need
To make your mental health a priority.
love your mind.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Well, there you take a look at the Stars and Stripes. The wind isn't that bad. As a matter of fact, it was much gustier. As the crew call about 3:30 here this afternoon came about. It was a lot stronger earlier in the day, but things have died down. Still expecting the weather, I believe, to see about 10 to 15 mile-an-hour winds, but with warm temperatures, that probably will be more than welcome to take the edge off of things as Defiance and Elida. Bulldogs versus Bulldogs getting set for first pitch. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Time now for a look at our starting lineups, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company, proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Balding, baker-schindler.com. Let's go ahead and take a look at the visiting Elida Bulldogs. And again, 9-7 overall, but don't let that record fool you. This is an incredibly young team. It is a talented team, still trying to kind of find its legs, so to speak. Leading things off, it will be sophomore left fielder Darian Jones. Jones coming into today hitting .277. He's one of a few starters that's actually returned from last year. Batting second, it will be freshman shortstop Colton Graham. As a freshman, Graham has taken the WBL by storm, hitting .346. His on-base percentage at .443. Scoop, the ceiling's very high for the Elida shortstop.
Boy, it really is. To step into the WBL and put up the number he has really is off the charts. He also leads the Elida Bulldogs in runs scored, in base hits, doubles, walks, you name it. Boy, he's been awfully productive out of the two-hole for Coach Leatherman.
Batting in the three-hole, it is their senior leader. Coach Leatherman called him the Alpha, Ryan McHugh. He hit .262 last season with 16 hits and 8 RBI. He has topped that considerably so far, a little over halfway through the season this year, batting .319. He's got 15 hits and 9 RBI. We'll break him down on the bump. He's also the team's starting pitcher. Batting in the cleanup spot, it will be another underclassman, Gavin Tickle. In the 5-hole, John Snyder will be batting 5th and playing 3rd. Jack Doherty, another freshman, batting 6th. He's the second baseman. Mark Troyer is the DH. He will hit 7th. Gabe Miley hitting in the 8-hole, roaming right field. And in center field, another one of those freshmen, Ben Adcock. Adcock hitting in the 9-hole, batting .262. Defensively, this is how Defiance is going to place them. And you don't need to say, well, any underclassmen? No. All seniors on this year's roster. Pardon me, not on this year's roster, but on this afternoon's starting lineups. Let's go ahead and take a look at them, but no real surprises. Cody Shaw on the bump. The senior, will break him down a little bit later. George Hartnett, a seldom-used senior last year, only because he played behind Cody Shaw. He would be a starter on most teams in the WBL. He gets the starting nod to complete the battery from left to right on the infield. Again, all seniors. Logan Hutchison at 3rd. Brez Ziffel, who's going to stay close to home. He'll be playing his college ball at Defiance College, just across town. Noah Gomez at 2nd, and Khalil Ligon at 1st. 3 seniors from left to right in the green. Abel Rubio, the speedster Brady Borton, and Cohen Stockman in right. And those are your starting lineups, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company, proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding, baker-schindler.com. Still about 10 minutes away from throwing out the first pitch. Bulldogs versus the Bulldogs. Elida in their traveling black jersey tops with the white trousers and the orange lettering and numerals. Defiance, despite being the hosts, are wearing their gray uniforms with the blue lettering and numerals. We'll take another quick timeout. Back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Simplify your everyday banking with convenient account options and digital banking features that fit your unique lifestyle. Premier Bank, everyday banking solutions designed for you. Explore solutions today at yourpremierbank.com.
One in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The Health Class Film Guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
Visit Mark Motes Ford and check out some of the best new Ford models. Mark Motes Ford has been serving the Defiance community since 1916. Visit them today, County Road 424 in Defiance, and online at markmotesford.com.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
And we welcome you back. The Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. And right there is a donation from Legacy Living to the Defiance baseball program, over $1,000. Again, they have kind of a formula that they use for strikeouts, for hits, for wins. But Legacy Living building a new facility out on the west end of town, out by the hospital. But proud supporters of local high school athletics, and very pleased that we got that on the air. That's a big check. You remember Will Ferrell's movie Jackie Moon? You get this big check, but in addition to the big check is also a big donation behind it, over $1,000. So a tip of the cap and a big thank you going out to Legacy Living.
Yeah, just incredible. Legacy Living there, giving back, and the huge donation, a huge check there as you see. Just another reason to get excited about high school athletics and the great community that we're surrounded by.
And again, we've talked about it, but I just don't think that you can really understand it unless you actually set foot on this campus. Scoop, we are in a high school facility, the likes of which maybe all but one school in the Mid-American Conference. Heck, there are some schools in some other smaller, larger conferences, if indeed I can be somewhat contradictory, smaller, larger conferences, that would take this in a heartbeat. Completely turfed from backstop to warning track, the hitting facility and pitching facility here. You got 5 cages, you have a locker room and a coach's locker room. This is a Division I college level facility for Defiance High School.
It really is. I'm doing a Division I game tomorrow, and I'll guarantee you both those teams that I have in action tomorrow will be more than happy to trade facilities.
Absolutely.
What we have here at Defiance High School. Just really state of the art, and again, just amazing what we have here in Defiance.
As Defiance and Elida finishing their warm-ups, both coaches, Leatherman, and again, situation here where he's out, a young guy just in his second season at the helm. And Coach Weaver exchanging pleasantries and lineup cards. I don't know here. I did not get a chance to talk to the umpires before they arrived. You're writing names down. Are you familiar with either or possibly both?
Well, I can see that Mark Weidenhammer has the gear on there. The other man there has his back to us there, but Mark's a veteran, has been out here many times, been a part of a lot of big games over the course of his career. One of the best in the business.
We've talked about this before. There's already an umpire shortage. There's a shortage of officials, period, across the prep gamut, but especially when it comes to baseball. And I know I've talked with multiple coaches for games that we have covered over the course of this season alone. The call goes out to the next generation, maybe even the next couple of generations. I know in talking with some of the officials with the Ohio High School Athletic Association, to say there's already a shortage is one thing. There's going to be a drought within the next 5 or 6 years. And again, Tim Street told me, he goes, it won't be uncommon in probably about another half a dozen years or so, unless things change, that you're going to see schools have to reschedule simply because there aren't going to be enough officials, or umpires in this case, to go around. So again, a tip of the cap to both these gentlemen, because by the gray hairs on their head, it looks like they've been around the block once or twice.
Well, they have, but again, just great to see younger kids get involved. We just don't see enough of them right now, and they have – I know in Toledo they have teams that are playing on Sunday now, so they can get officials a little bit easier. I did a game in Toledo on Wednesday night. Makes it a little easier to get umpires on those nights as well.
Defiance taking the field. Elida coming out of their dugout, and they will line up down the third base lines. It's time for the national anthem, courtesy of the Defiance County Veterans Office. Proud to support local veterans and their families, connecting them with resources available to them. For more information, give them a call, 419-782-6861. That's 419-782-6861, the Defiance County Veterans Office. As a host of youth players picking their official favorite Bulldog, lining up for the national anthem. National anthem in the books, and our thanks going out to the Defiance County Veterans Office. Proud to support local veterans and their families. For more information on resources that you might be eligible for, whether you are a veteran or the family member of a veteran, give them a call at 419-782-6861. Well, cue up Thunderstruck. Here we go. Men in blue coming down here, getting a look at the other one. Nope, not quite sure. Let's see if we can't figure that out.
I did see that Cody Shaw, maybe one of the most popular out there with the youth running out in the field. He was in double digits. Khalil Ligon not far behind there at first base. He had a small army with him as well.
Cody Shaw bringing some heat, finishing up what, not exactly long toss, but he's amping himself up. Cody Shaw, let's break down the senior. Again, on the season, 3 appearances. He's got 1 win against no losses, 2 saves with a stingy 1.17 ERA. He's tossed 12 innings, allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, only 2 earned, 7 walks against 9 strikeouts. So again, a situation compared to last season